Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I have some pretty interesting Pokemon TCG news here. The actual news, the actual thing that happened isn't that interesting, but it's a new trademark here from filed by Pokemon Japan. This is Pokemon Japan as opposed to TPCI, the Pokemon Company International, which deals with products internationally. So, for example, the expansion Phantasmal Flames is by TPCI, not the Pokemon Company in Japan. That expansion would be Inferno X. So it's going to the trademark here is called Celebration Collection. Um, it appears to be or I guess it's a translation of the name in Japanese. And then this is it looks like a set name here. And so this is going to be, as I said, a Japanese set, and then it'll come later internationally. And this is likely to be a way to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Pokemon or the Pokemon TCG. So this is going to be pretty exciting, I think, because we had some other celebrations things. We had celebrations and we had generations and the evolutions, which were the 20th anniversary. I'm not sure if we had 15th anniversary thing. I guess I can quickly look. I don't know off the top of my head. Tell me down below in the comment section. I'm actually only most familiar with the 25th anniversary. I didn't really play much. I played some during the 20th anniversary, but not as much. And the 15th anniversary would be in that'd be in 2011. Then 2006 would be the 10th, so I don't see anything immediately. It was Call of Legends for that. That seems unlikely. And then yeah, as I said, just not super familiar with these. So again, if anyone has any more knowledge about that, leave that down below in the comment section there. But ultimately, this is really cool, and I'm excited for it because I will say this set will be a mini set, so more likely it will be more collectors focused. Not every mini set is collectors focused. If we look at the mini sets or like the special sets, we see recently. So if you don't know, there are four main sets every year. So for example, this year the four main sets were Journey Together, Dust and Rivals, Mega Evolution, and Phantasmal Flames. It's a little weird because two of them were from the Scarlet and Violet era, and two of them were from the Mega era, but it doesn't actually matter that much. And we also had the expansions Black Bolt, White Flare, and Black Bolt and White Flare with the mini sets, and also Prismatic Evolutions. Personally, I don't really count Prismatic Evolutions coming out this year. I mean, in Japan, it didn't come out this year. It was like last year. If you look there, it's mostly made up of, or a good chunk of it is made up of what was it made up of? What set was Badoo in Japan? I'm gonna quickly check on this, because as I said, the things are different from Japan to internationally. So this was in Terrestrial Fest EX. This set, I believe. Okay, yeah, this is the one that made up the bulk of Prismatic Evolution. So yeah, again, the sets are a little different in Japan. So it says that this will be looking at Japan's Pokemon TCG schedule. And it says it's around 6 to 9 months before the tournament goes into use. So that would be here it says between summer or fall of 2026. This will be in Japan as well. So this will likely be a fall set internationally. I think I'm not the most familiar with the schedules. I'm mostly here to speculate about the cards and stuff like that and the cool things that we'll see in the sets. But yeah, we'll be around then. It'll be, a bit of time away. Potentially after Gen 10. I'm actually not familiar. Wait, no, probably not, but I'm not sure. But then also it will be probably in the Mega era as well. Might have probably not have to do with ZA. I know there's some other stuff as well, but again, I'm just not as versed in the Vidium there. But the schedule here is we have Mega Dream EX releasing later this year. So we'll see Start Deck 100 Battle Collection. Mega Dream EX will be making up the expansion. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my. I think Ascended Heroes, which I think is releasing at the beginning of next year. And so then that's like a mini set there, and same thing with Start Deck 100 Battle Collection. Those are. It's not exactly a mini set, but if it's not a mini set, it's not anything at all. And then we have Municus Zero with Mega Zygarde EX, Mega Glade EX special set, then Ninja Spinner, which I believe is going to be making up a main set, probably with Storm Emeralda. Maybe Abyss High. This might be after the third set. Yeah, not 100% sure there, and we have dates for Ninja Spinner, but then Storm Emeralda and Abyss Eye are not confirmed to have dates there. So that's just a quick glance into the future of what we're going to be seeing from the Pokemon TCG. Specifically, this is in Japan, as I said, so it will be later internationally. But anyways, looking at Generation and Evolution, the 20th anniversary, I'm not like they don't have as much that stands out. Well, Evolution does. Evolution, if you're not familiar, it has cards that are in the same style as the base set, and some of them are actually reprints. I didn't know that like any of the Pokemon are actually reprints. A lot of them aren't. I was talking to someone and they thought all of them are reprints. They're not. Like this Charizard here. If you look at base set Charizard is like weaker. It does less damage and stuff. But yeah, if I'll pull it up here. Oh, I'm searching Charizard. There's going to be a lot of them, and not as many as I was thinking there could be. But we see that we have this Charizard here, but then the Charizard from Evolutions is a little different there. Let me pull, let's see, the two up next to each other and like flip between them. We see the same art there. This one, okay, that art actually isn't that similar there. But then we see that they have the same ability name. This is actually not an ability, as a Pokemon Power, which is essentially like an ability, but it's a different name. And then it has, oh, actually, it is the same ability. I thought these were different abilities because I mean, look at how little text there is compared to this one. Yeah, in case you can't tell, Pokemon has gotten a lot better at wording their things. This one, this Charizard allows you, or this ability here allows you to just simply change the energy types of your fire energies, and it just does that. This one is like a thing that you can choose to do. It's actually a little different. You are choosing to do it. It gets turned off by special conditions. It happens before your attack. Um, there's a lot more complexities to it, despite being essentially the same thing. So yeah, Pokemon's cleaned up their wording a lot, which is like super good. Then also, this card looks different though than of course a regular Charizard. Oh, the attacks are also similar, but I mean this one has 30 more HP. It does 100 more damage. It does discard a third energy, but for the most part, they have similarities. I mean, we see this one has the fighting resistance, which you're not going to see in standard. I mean, you can see it on flying Pokemon, but generally the Pokemon would be lightning weak if they're flying, and then if they're fire, they'd just be water weak and no resistance there. But yeah, I mean, we see that there are some changes, some things that are staying the same, but generally a lot of ideas being maintained there. If you look at like Mega Charizard EX here, this is like pretty different though. It's just like a separate card. This is the same as the other Megas during this era. This is actually a reprint of the Flashfire Mega Charizard EX, except with this older style, I guess, but it still has like really modern stuff as well. It's a really interesting style choice. I think Evolutions is a pretty cool set that's I think I'm pretty sure people liked and just being like a really interesting set to like kind of collect, but it's not like just for collectors. Like this Clefairy, this card was legitimately good, or I guess probably is still legitimately good and expanded. I don't know how good it is now. Currently in expanded, I haven't been paying too much attention to the format because people don't play it that much, but it's still being played some, and I don't know if this Clefairy is like super highly played. It has some cool things it can do, but anyways, you have some interesting cards from the set here. Some of the trainers are true reprints, like Potion. Wait, Potion. Okay, Potion actually does something different, but it is a reprint. It just got errated. So that's not a good example there. I don't actually know which ones. Oh, Switch. Switch is the same. So yeah, Switch is the same here. But then you look at something like computer search isn't in the set. You don't have that, and the like super rogue trainers aren't here. So yeah, they like tone things down quite a bit. They've added supporters, which were in the original base set. Long story short, they added these cards to the game that were both a mixture of old and new stuff, done really well. Generations, I'm not really sure what this set did. I'm not gonna lie. I know there are some really cool arts, like this art, super awesome. I know this Wally art. This one I think is yeah, this one's it's not like super cheap. It's not as cheap as the regular art, but it's an art I see. It might be the default art in somewhere. It's not the default here, but I think it may be Pokemon Book. It's the default art. So there's some pretty interesting things in this set visually, like some interesting energies. But in terms of actual stuff, wait, this card. Oh, this is so weird with an actual person on it, but it just makes you active confused. Not a good card, but a funny card. This also had some powerful reprints, like this Raichu, which was like a good card in standard, and might also been played in expanded. I'm not sure if it was. But anyways, it was a good card in standard, not like absurdly good, but like a pretty decent card. And then some other interesting cards in the set as well. Just generally a pretty decent set, though not super standout in terms of being, a true celebration of stuff. But again, still a pretty cool set with like some interesting energies. I don't think Pokemon will be making two different sets for the 30th anniversary. I think they'll just be doing one. Hopefully, we see this old style. This is really cool. I don't think they're necessarily going to be looking back to the beginning of the Pokemon TCG, but they could be looking back to the X and Y era, which would be 10 years ago. Okay, this is like the competitive cards. The you see the ones 10 years ago from Evolutions. Presumably, they're not going to be calling back the cards, calling back to other cards. That's kind of weird. But they could be, reprinting or kind of reprinting or bringing back mechanics from this era, especially because this is where we had the Mega era. Like this Mega Gardevoir EX, a really cool card, and we have dual type Pokemon from this era. Dual types are pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Fairy, get off the Fairy page, because if you know me, you know my YouTube channel is called 10 Types. Also, if you know me, you know that you should subscribe. But yeah, I think I like there being 10 types. My channel's not named 10 types because there's 10 types of Pokemon in the Pokemon TCG, but there are. Assuming you don't count Fairy, which isn't in the game right now in Standard. But like there are these dual types. They're cool. They're not like absurdly cool in terms of actual interactions with other cards. They're actually pretty cool in GLC, but that's like a pretty niche thing there. But ultimately, oh, speaking of GLC, you can play GLC on live if you're watching this video and you're not a channel member. If you are a channel member, one, thanks. And two, within like 12 hours, you'll be able to if the video just dropped. So, anyways, Volcanic EX's card, pretty cool card as well. I'm trying to think if there are any super standout cards from this era. Outside, like there's the Megas, which I would not be shocked if we see Megas in the Celebration set there. They're the Spirit Links which went along with them, but you don't need Spirit Links now. They interact with the cards that we don't currently see. Or in a way that Megas don't currently work there. There are the double-sided stadiums. If you know my thoughts on these, I haven't talked about them too much, but I've talked about them some. I think they're really badly designed because the whole point of a stadium is it affects both players, and this one doesn't do that. But I mean, they're like kind of fun. They're also like hard to read, which is like actually a big problem. Even if they were worked a little better. There's like this Vileplume. I don't like that card. It's kind of like Badoo, I guess. It's not quite the same there. There's just a lot of really cool cards from this era. There's like Double Dragon Energy. Wait, when's this coming out? I'd be out with Dragapult. That probably would be a bit much there. Versus Seeker. Yeah, Versus Seeker was during this era. Battle Compressor. Silent Lab, probably not looking for Silent Lab. There are also the Team Flare gear. Tool or Team Flare Hyper Gear, not Team Flare Gear. I've learned this the other day as well. Team Flare Gear, like Robo Substitute and Battle Compressor, or Team Flare Gear. But jamming that is a Team Flare Hyper Gear. These are tools to attach to your opponent's Pokemon. They're kind of cool. They like kind of get. I mean, you're literally attaching them. Your opponent could accidentally take them. They also are hard to read as well. There's a lot of cards from this era that are kind of hard to read. They could like change that, so it's just not so hard to read there. But there's a bunch of iconic cards here. I don't think there's any that are like super iconic. Shaman EX is pretty iconic. Mega Rayquaza, I would not be shocked to see a Mega Rayquaza card as well. I'd like to see a Mega Rayquaza card. It's got some cool cards. I mean, this one's the main one here, which we also saw in Celebrations, which we'll talk about Celebrations now as well. Celebrations is the 25th anniversary set. This one, I think, is going to be a better model for what we're going to expect to see. We do see some throwback artwork, but just a little bit of throwback artwork here. For the most part, there's not too like in the main set. There's a main set, and then there's this like other part of the set. So the main set features 25 cards in it, and in terms of unique cards, I think it's 23. Yeah, getting rid of Mew and research there. Mew was a good card. The Velpul was like a good card, not like as good as Mew, but pretty good. Flying Pikachu VMAX, a good card. So there are definitely good cards. There are other good cards as well from this set. I mean, obviously Research is good, and then I think Zacian V, and I think that's about it. Maybe I'm forgetting something. There's some like cool cards as well. They're all legend. Well, no, they're not all legendary. They're all legendary or mythical. I'm not actually entirely sure of the difference. But there's legend. They're all legendaries. Except for Pikachu. Of course, it's Pikachu. Expect to see a Pikachu in the set. I cannot confirm that, but that seems very likely. And then some trainers that are iconic. But then we also have the other half of the set. This is these are true reprints. Well, they're okay, they have this 25th anniversary thing, so they're not like literally the same card, but they are in terms of tournament play or just play in general. Like these are regular cards you can play, and they do exactly what the older card does. When I say exactly, like exactly, unlike Evolution, or Evolutions, where the mechanics are maybe reworked a little bit to be made more concise, they were balanced better. These cards are reprints though, so they also maintain the same regulation mark as the original cards. This means that you can't, for example, go ahead and play this clay doll in standard. Personally, I would have liked it more if they were allowed in standard. Some might be probably. Wait, are any of these super broken? Um. Okay, you couldn't play Garchomp C level X. I just realized, or Luxray GL level X. I'm not as familiar with this Mew EX. No, it copies Pokemon's attacks. This card was very good. I don't think it would be broken. Clefairy was really strong. Um. There is Oh, that's a face up prize card thing. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to think here. Like Raucous Admin's just pretty much like I know it's like N, but there are some cool cards here. Some cards that interact in kind of weird ways. Um, there's this what's this card do? It's like it turns off Pokemon as a Poke powers. There's like a lot of weird interactions, so it would cause potentially some problems, but realistically, the game would still be completely playable. I mean, there are rules, I believe, for playing any card with any card in the Pokemon TCG. That's like an actual card. But overall, I think it could be cool. I mean, like something like Tapu Lele GX would be cool. It'd be powerful but fun. Something like Claydol, as I said, this is just like a draw engine. It's a pretty good draw engine here, letting you put up to 2 cards from your hand and put them on the bottom of your deck. I believe you yeah, at least one there. Then if you do draw until you have 6 cards in hand, just like a really nice draw engine there, and just some random Pokemon as well. I mean, like Mewtwo EX, really powerful when it was in standard, wouldn't be so good now. But these cards are cool. I definitely like to see some of those. I like the original designs. I like the older, like the reprints. I like the adaptations of older cards as well that we saw in Evolutions. And then also the really cool set of cards. I've talked about these. I think I talked about them in its own video, so you could check that out on my channel. And it's talking about these cards. I don't know the term for them, but these are cards that. So this is a Okay, why did I click on this card? It's a prime card. It's like a mechanic. It's actually like it functions literally the same as a regular card, as far as I'm aware, except they're just like better. But anyways, you got Dragapult Prime here, or Dragapult, for example, Donphan. Donphan is a Pokemon Prime, and it's good. It was really powerful. 60 for one on a stage one for one fighting, as I said, just one energy is quite good. It's not like absurd. This card, if it was printed into standard, would be fine. It'd be like not particularly good. It also does 10 to all your bench Pokemon. It does take 20 less from damage though. That's 120 HP. This is a card that I'll say. So if you're not familiar with Cube, it's like something like specifically Mutant Cube is a format where the idea is to kind of, for me, I want to be playing with a mixture of old and new cards, and matching the power level of like current standard, like random single prizers. This is stronger than a lot of single prizers in standard stage ones. It's not like absurd. In terms of power level, like it's okay, but this card is like it's still pretty good today, and not like competitively super good, but like in random casual stuff, it's pretty good there. So yeah, this card was like super super crazy good when it came out. Not like absurdly broken, not the best of any of these cards here, but it was very good. And anyways, it's a prime. However, primes were during Heart Gold Soul Silver. Dragapult came out as a Pokemon, came out in Sword and Shield. So Dragapult never got the chance to get a prime, so they decided to retroactively give it one here. This card was never playable in like actual play, which is kind of disappointing. There are a handful of these. There is Dragapult, Light Toxicity, Hydreigon C, Mimikyu, and Zacian level X. I think that's all of them. Like I'm missing one. There's Pikachu V, but that's like different. There's Dark Sylveon V and Leon's Charizard V. Oh, Greninja Star, yeah, that one's here as well. I'm not sure why they're separated exactly the ways that they are. But these cards are like kind of cool. They're these like callback cards. They're really interesting. Honestly, as I said, I would love to see these cards in standard. They need to, actually design them for standard, make sure that they actually work mechanically. Like Zacian level X could work. It uses a mechanic that's not in standard and is really weird. I believe this is an evolution, but it doesn't work like regular evolutions. It's really fun though. Ultimately, I'd love to see them kind of bring back these mechanics in a bit of a small, weird way. Ultimately, if they make a set with a bunch of different mechanics in it that people aren't really familiar with, that some people are familiar with, but a lot of people aren't, it would get confusing. So they'd need to make it, maybe tone down the mechanics. For example, they could just make what is it? Not the prime mechanic, which isn't the mechanic, but the like the EXs. Okay, these are actually the same as the current EXs. They can make this Gardevoir Delta species instead of Delta species. It's Terra. I don't think they're printing any more Terras, but yeah, you could do that. Wait, Mega Dream EX is out in Japan. Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna talk about that. But then like you could just make this not a star Pokemon if you want it as like a true reprint of what this card does. You could just make it a regular Umbreon. I don't know. I mean, you kind of lose out on some of the exciting things. You can make Cleffa like a current baby. I mean, okay, well, we have Cleffa. That's a current baby that is in some ways similar to this card. But anyways, there are some really interesting things we could see from Pokemon here. Oh, I will say is this card banned? It's not banned. But this card isn't like I think it was banned. So they need to maybe change some things. Blank Pikachu is like a really special case, but overall, I'd love to see Pokemon do some weird stuff with it, get crazy. I really enjoyed what they did with the celebrations and the celebrations promo cards, as well as the evolutions cards, and both halves of celebrations as well. The regular cards, these are just regular cards. I don't want a set that, I mean, I guess if the set doesn't have any regular cards, that's fine. I think Pokemon wants the set to have regular cards to have something that like feels normal. Then you get the cards in an older style or reworks of older cards or reprints of older cards or like new cards in old style. Like actually like new Pokemon with the new style or whatever. There's so many different things they could do. They could do callbacks like even from generations. They could do the like older energies and the just really interesting artworks and things like that. But anyways, tell me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on the 30th anniversary Pokemon set. The set is coming. I mean, theoretically, I guess it could be not that, but that seems very unlikely. But overall, I'm really excited for it. But as I said, tell me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are. And also, while you're down there, make sure you subscribe. It really helps out support the channel and like the video as well. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you also check out my other videos, especially with GLC coming back to Pokemon TCG Live in a pretty big way. I'm going to be making some content on that, I think. I'm going to be making some. Not sure how much. Definitely the podcast episode. But anyways, make sure you check that out. But I hope you enjoyed. And as I was excited, see you in the next video.